All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome into the fourth and final episode of the Coach's Corner. It's Isaac Signs, Coach Holt, once again joining us. So we appreciate your time and discussing the program and what's ahead, Coach. So I hope you're doing well. So how have you been handling this? We've kind of talked about this every week, COVID-19, we're the stay at home. So how are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing really well. Something that just came into my mind that we can talk about today, and I'm just going to jump into it if it's okay. But we signed two players here last week, and so I'm just going to mention those kids real quick if you don't mind. Juliana Velchiva, she's from Bulgaria. She's a kid that played at Western Nebraska Junior College, so she's coming in with some experience. She's a forward post. About 6'2", moves well, can face up, kind of a typical European type of player. But we really like her experience, and her team had qualified for the junior college national tournament that obviously didn't take place, but so came from a good program, and really good kid, and is very excited to come to UTSA. And then we signed a freshman from Humble, Texas, which is where Carrington Donald is from. And not the same high school, but Kylie McGuire. And again, another kid that can play the forward spot, really tough-nosed kid, rebounder, defender, just likes to kind of mix it up and loves to compete. So very excited about her as well. We're not done. We've got some other kids in spots that we'd like to fill, but at this time, those are the two that we've signed here in the spring.
Coach Holt dropping the hammer with the big scoop to start the show. I like it. Now, Coach, on that note, before we go on with the rest of the interview, since you brought that up, how significant are those signings for your program, considering what's going on, the fact that you all haven't really had the chance to hit the road recruiting?
Yeah, it's that's big, especially with Juliana, because we started recruiting her after this coronavirus and everything kind of hit. So that's big, and we feel like we're on a couple of other kids that hopefully will commit to us soon that would be really good additions to our team and kind of meet the needs that we've talked about in previous episodes.
Got it. Now, we're going to go ahead and segue to your coaching staff, which obviously plays a vital role in your recruiting. And we know that any successful head coach, it's attributed to the staff that surrounds and really builds up the chemistry of the team. So, Coach, why don't you take this time to briefly talk about each of your assistant coaches and what they bring to the table?
Well, I have an outstanding staff, and I've coached now for 24 years, and this group has been one of my favorites just because, first of all, they're great people. They're extremely loyal. They understand the vision of the program, and they convey that every day to our kids, and they're really invested and care about our players. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle, and they all understand that. And so I'm just really appreciative to them for their hard work, and just, they're friends of mine. I mean, we get along great. We like to spend time together. But just talk about each of them briefly. Adam Estes, he's our recruiting coordinator. He's been coaching over 10 years now, and he's been a head coach at Division II in junior college. So his experience, his connections, his work ethic in the area of recruiting is really big to our program. He also spends a lot of time working with our post players. And then Ella Makoshe is kind of our international connection. She keeps an eye on Europe. But again, was a phenomenal college player, played at junior college and then Seton Hall, and played then pro for 7 years. So she brings a lot of knowledge of the game, and great with our guards, and just really loves to be on the court teaching one-on-one, which is awesome. So Ella does a lot with our international and our junior college recruiting. And then Stephanie Yao is the young one in the group. She's just finished her second year with us, and again, very energetic and, really good coach, works with our post players as well. Just does a great job, a very good people person. So her energy and again, she really cares about kids and just does a really good job and handles a lot of things behind the scenes, handles our fast break club, helped to get that started. So again, just really, those are my three coaches. And then of course I have other support staff that probably we don't have time to go into right now, but appreciative for Olivia and Gabe and Jay. They all have done a really good job.
All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the team's trip to Hawaii. It was a non-conference tournament. It was a really great experience. Talk about what it meant to the program to be a part of such an event, a marquee event of that magnitude.
Yeah, that's a type of a trip that just put on your calendar. You can use it in recruiting. Most of our players had not been to Hawaii, so it's a trip of a lifetime for kids. And at the same time, the University of Hawaii runs a really nice tournament, so it's just a neat place to visit, to go, to spend 5-6 days, play a couple games. And we really had a great experience. I hope that we can do that type of a tournament maybe every 3 or 4 years. That's the goal. And having been there and having had a good experience, that's certainly something we'll want to do in the future.
Now back to campus here in San Antonio, Texas. There's a new athletic building coming. RACE is the acronym for it. Talk about it, the explanation behind the acronym, and what it's going to do for the campus.
Yeah, it's the Roadrunner Athletic Center of Excellence. That's what the acronym stands for. And it's going to be a tremendous addition to our athletic department. It's going to house our academic center, which is certainly something our kids are going to be able to take advantage of. It's going to have a football facility. It's going to house our athletic department. Most of our athletic department will be able to have offices in this building. And so you get kind of everyone under one roof. A brand new training room. It's just going to be really first class. And we're just really excited about that because they've started building it. And we're just excited to see that happen on our campus. It's just a sign of great things to come.
And lastly, Coach, why don't you go ahead and talk about the city of San Antonio, what it offers? We know it's a great community. What can it bring to future recruits who decide to come play at UTSA?
Yeah, I mean, San Antonio is a city. I'm sure most people that work at UTSA would agree. It's a place that you would live even if you didn't work here. If you were retired, it's a place that has a lot to offer. It's got the downtown and the Riverwalk. It's you've got your amusement parks like Six Flags. You've got SeaWorld. You have the water park in Schlitterbahn that's not far. Lots of shopping, great places to eat. I mean, just to live in this city is awesome. And that's not to mention that the people are great and the weather is fantastic. We don't have to deal with 7-foot snowdrifts. So it's just it's a neat place. And I think the other thing that we talk to our recruits a lot about when they come is that most of the areas that they're studying or that they're interested in, because this is the 7th largest city in the country, there are many opportunities for internships or, just job shadowing or, just things that maybe if you were in a smaller town or smaller community, you wouldn't have that opportunity. And so, I just know, for instance, KK Donald, our senior, she's got an internship this summer here in San Antonio, and then it could eventually turn into something that's permanent. So it's just a lot of opportunity here, but at the same time I don't think it has a huge city feel. I feel like we're kind of tucked away up here in the northwest corner of the city, and most people don't venture too far from here because we have everything right nearby.
Gotcha. Yeah, San Antonio is a nice community, and I think that's well said, Coach. It's a great place for recruits to come. And as you mentioned, plenty of opportunities in the internships and a lot of great companies here. So, well, that'll do it. We're going to put a bow on the Coach's Corner. This is episode number 4, and Coach Holt has been joining us discussing various topics of the program. So, Coach, we really appreciate your insight about what you see in the team moving forward, and we look forward to the upcoming season.
I do too, and I hope everyone will just continue to stay well, and let's get through this time and get back to some normalcy. And we're probably all better for having gone through this. It's given us all time to reflect and get probably some work done that maybe we didn't have a chance to do. And so I think we've taken something that could be considered a negative and hopefully turned it into some positives.
Indeed. Well said. Well, there you have it. Y'all have a great rest of the morning. Signing off, Coach's Corner.